All right, let's move it back. Okay, so the second story that relates to this, right? Maybe these can be together in one of the clips because they're quite together. We have a article here. Now you sent me this, right, Tom? What's this all about?
Yeah. So I sent you this, and then like 5 minutes later, Connor went to me. Have you seen this? Because Connor loves BBC News. He's like massively into it. But a guy was basically... We're in lockdown now in the UK. For anyone that's watching this outside the UK, we're like in a full national lockdown. We're not allowed to go do things unless it's super essential. This guy was found like miles away from his house to play Pokemon Go. And the police
14
were like,
miles.
Can't do that, mate.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. He was exercising, and they've said that people can exercise. And if he's playing a game while he's exercising, like you have those games, those running games, when you're running out about, oh, well done, you've run up the
that's
Himalayas.
Not a game. That's a fitness tracker. That's a very different
It's
thing.
doing the same similar type of thing.
Yeah, but 14 miles away though. Like, is he just a long distance runner or something?
Yeah.
He's got to run back as well. He's got to run the 40 miles back as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it says anywhere here. No, he'd driven from his home.
Oh, wait there. I've just found a fun. Everyone has a part to play in ensuring the slow.
That wasn't a fun.
No, because he's playing.
I get it. It wasn't.
Okay.
But he drove to Kenilworth. He drove to Kenilworth to play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And then got
Oh,
caught.
my brother's there.
Yeah. And it's like, how are people getting arrested for Pokemon, especially within the same week? Like,
I love how at the bottom it explains what Pokemon Go is, which is like
it's Japanese.
Pokemon Go is a Japanese augmented reality game for smartphones. First launched in 2016, it allows players to hunt for characters that appear in real life places. This is mad.
Also,
it's been downloaded around the world more than 1 billion times. What the
It's probably it's more well known than BBC News, and it's explaining what Pokemon Go should be.
Pokemon Go
BBC
isn't Japanese. I'm pretty sure the company that make that is American.
Niantic. Did you see how was it Gucci and now like got a promo in Pokemon Go? It's like, what the hell? Pokemon Go, I want to say, is a whole different beast. I think like, you know, we wouldn't be here in this capacity if not for Pokemon Go. Like, what a monster! Wasn't they making like 400 million a day when that first launched or something like that?
And like everybody who played was contributing, no matter what. Like, you barely met anyone when you was playing it who wasn't buying something. On
the exactly. You're buying everything, and you'd walk out in your street. And if you saw someone throw it on their phone, they were on Pokemon Go. It was one of the most
100%.
like that first week or that summer was one of the best like moments of my life. Like not just for like Pokemon,
sick.
but bro, we were everywhere, man. We would drive, obviously not driving on plane, but drive somewhere. My mate's in the car catching both Pokemon in my hands. But the fun part of that originally there was the fact that you could see exactly where they were, right? Because they had the footsteps. You could, it was 3 footsteps. You go the closer it's 2. Me and my friends were not running on the grass, but we were running into a graveyard to try and find this Growlithe. It was open. It's open to get there, on the footpath. Pay respects, but still, little Growlithe there, man, got to be caught. But then there was the issue with that was there was these websites, right, where because there was some way of coding in where the Pokemon was, you could go online.
It's just going to be called Randolph steals dogs from graveyards.
Yeah, literally. You could literally go online and you could find exactly where a Pokemon was. So I remember me and my bro were just like at home, and I saw a Gengar. In like the cricket pitch, so I was like, "Oh, bro, I'm going to go and catch Gengar real quick. I'll be right back." And he gave me his phone. He's like, "Can you catch me one too?" Because you could see exactly where it was. But they changed that now.
So good.
And it's still big, man. Like people think it fell off. It did have a dip, but it's back like bigger than ever. I think in terms of revenue as well.
I remember I was in a not too safe part of Birmingham the one day, and I saw this old woman. She was probably like in her late 80s. And I looked over at her, and she looked over at me, and I was like, "Oh, she's gonna think I'm here for." And she came up to me, and I was like, "What's she doing?" Like, and she was like, "Oh,
they're not, mate.
No,
listen, they're not.
No,
that.
But like, no, you know what I mean. You know how old people look at you sometimes because you're young, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And she came over to me, and I was like, "What have I done?" And she had 2 phones in her hand, and she was like, "Oh, are you catching these as well?" And I was like, "What?
Yeah,
you're literally like 1 million years old."
I felt
like, but I was like, everyone was playing it. Like there was no one not playing it. There were people walking with their kids in prams, not holding the bar, but with their hands like on the bar like this, playing the game. And it was like, what's going on?
I go to raids. Honestly, I had a period in London where I would go to do raids with people, and before coronavirus hit, and you could do it from your home. And I would literally be there, and I was probably the youngest person. Every time.
Oh yeah, easily.
I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? It's just and like you say, 3 phones as well, catching like Rayquaza 3 times.
we live in quite a small area, and if you remember when we lived in our last house, I travelled to an even smaller village, and we walked I
Tiny
drove
little
there.
village.
We walked the 10 miles into Banbury, doing it was the Maltrez raid day. So there was a bunch of us, and there was people ranging there from probably 6-7 years old with their parents and stuff and with their grandparents. There was generations of people playing. It was so sick. I just loved it so much.
It brought everyone together, and that's one of the big things that Pokemon does.
And then winter hit, and everyone was like, nah.
Yeah, nah, mate. I'll try it again in 3 years. But I remember even YouTube, the Sidemen, they were all playing it on YouTube, filming it. I didn't really have Pokemon content. Yeah. I mean, I think that's where he's always been a fan of Pokemon, but that might have been where his commercial joy came back. Because I remember Pokemon. I wanted to make a Pokemon channel 3 years ago, but I was like, it's gonna flop, man. Everyone's gonna say it's a kids game. Now, if you're not stupid for making a Pokemon channel these days. You got all the big guys doing it, you're creating side channels and all TCG stuff, which is great. But yeah, Pokemon's mental, man.
Oh man, Pokemon's good. We love Pokemon.
We'll never run out.
We love jumping in these calls.
Yeah, exactly. We'll never run out of things to talk about in here, right?
Yeah. It just brings back through the day. I'm like, oh, Pokemon card, and then we get on these, and I'm like, oh, I love Pokemon. I always remember.
Yeah, it
that.
reminds
So
you
nice.
of how good it actually is outside of there's another Pokemon card.
Yeah.
And Pokemon Go was special, really. I don't think there was a game that's had as much impact as that. For a lot,
not even close.
like you said, people were actually talking to each other. That doesn't happen anymore. I'm definitely not right now, but even before that time, people wouldn't just go up to people and be like, "You're right, you just look weird." Whereas now, everyone had this shared cultural experience.
Well, there were Facebook groups as well. So where we used to live, where we grew up, there's a Facebook group for that specific place, and people who had never met each other before would be like, oh, who's car sharing to go to this raid, and you're just getting cars with strangers and all sorts. It was such a weird time, and it was like, oh, but that it's acceptable because you're playing Pokemon Go together. that should never happen. Stranger danger is the thing, but it didn't matter because you might get a Gyarados or a Lapras or something. It's just weird. So sick.
You also, I think back in the day, you also found joy for the Pokemon you didn't really enjoy too much back in the day. I remember seeing a Victreebel, and I was like, oh, I gotta catch a Victreebel, and I never said that when I was 6. I was like, never wanted to catch a Victreebel. But yeah, what a special time.
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a time again where Pokemon Go, I know that it's got a consistent base now, but do you think that it's an opportunity once COVID finishes for Pokemon Go 2 or something like that to come out and to just bring a whole nother dimension to the game?
I think so. I think
bring more people in.
They keep adding stuff. I think the actual they are very. I think if you're an avid player, you will be very annoyed with how much they do grab the money because. A lot of these raid kits and all these stuff does cost a lot of money. I mean, even now, Shining Mew has never been obtainable before in the games ever. And then I think February they're doing a Pokemon Go. Was it Pokemon Go something Safari event or something like that?
Yeah.
Where they literally, if you buy the ticket, £14, you get a Shining Mew. In the game, you get one, or you do the tasks to get one in that. And then the issue with that is obviously now you can actually trade Pokemon from Pokemon Go into Sword and Shield. It's the first time ever you can get a legal shiny Mew in your game, which is again like you say, it's nice that it's so rare, right? So for them just to give it out for £14 is a bit dead, but it's also an incentive for them to go make
I wouldn't like the idea of selling the Pokemon in any game, which were only obtainable because you bought it. DLC is a bit different if you're getting a whole new area, but I guess that's what they would argue with the Safari Zone.
That's been a thing for ever, pretty much.
Events,
Pokemon. But even do you remember getting Jirachi? How you got Jirachi in? You had to buy the GameCube adapter thing, so you got Pokemon Box with Pokemon Colosseum, and then you had the little thing that you put underneath the GameCube, and you put Ruby or Sapphire in there, and then you got Jirachi as that. But you had to buy a Pokemon Box. To get that?
Yeah, I remember that actually. So I guess it's just an
point.
extension of that, right? I guess we have to realize Pokemon Go is closer to the main series than we thought it was, and obviously because it is so successful and there's so many millions of people on there. If they did an event where you got a shiny Mew in the Sword and Shield games, I don't think it would be as big as if you would get it in Pokemon Go. And I think to be fair to them, well, not to be fair to them, but the facts are they can charge £14 where you can't do that in the game. You can't say, oh, come get a £14 Mew, whereas
you
can't do that.
You would argue that if they did it for a £5, it'd be too cheap. But then if they did it for 30 quid, then people are like, well, you're just being extortionate.